So if everybody has the right executable and they're in the program, I'm just going to start it up and show you what's going on. So basically, you load the program, it comes in, and a palette shows up. And you can get to the palette in the lower middle of the screen if it's not there. So just open it up. This is all it's a simplified recipe for blood serum. So you have all your proteins in here. We have one for HIV, and we have one for cytosol to make a beta cell. So we're trying to make an illustration of a mature HIV coming to a beta cell before entry. But in the future, we'll do like a much more general approach. So first, I actually like to come in and draw my membrane, specifically for the HIV. And that's just right here, HIV membrane. And woo! And if you did something weird, like you drew it in a counterclockwise method, it actually closes with the outside, or the inside on the outside, which doesn't really matter, but if you want it to be perfect, go clockwise. And if you make any mistakes, you can just come up here on the upper left-hand corner of your screen and click the trash. And then we have membrane proteins, like the envelope for the HIV, and those might be confusing if, like Brett said, you don't know the proteins and you don't know they're supposed to be membrane bound. So if you place them anywhere but the membrane, they don't do anything. But you can go ahead and place them in the membrane. And so we have a few of these. Some of them you can kind of drag and place multiples. So click and drag along the membrane. So in the case of matrix, you have a lot of them. Okay, and we also have proteins that are just soluble. So I'll go back to blood plasma and just draw some albumin, because there's a lot of those in blood plasma. I'll put in some IgG, because there's a lot of those as well. And then in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, there's actually this thermometer. And what that does is turns on Brownian motion. So you can choose the level of motion you want, so super slow. And things will just kind of diffuse on their own time or a little faster. So in that way, we avoid collision. We get everything to diffuse across the screen, which is nice. But it also begins to be more of a living painting. So I'll go through some of the tools we have at our disposal. We have a drag. So that's this little finger guy right here. And you can take any of your proteins, and if you don't like where it is, you can start dragging it around the screen. You can even play with the membrane a little bit. So it becomes kind of a stress relief tool, I guess. That's what we're using it for. You can also really like screw things up. You can like drag things until they like start breaking. So if you want to actually come out with an illustration, maybe don't do that, but maybe do. I don't know. So we also have the pin. If you like the position of a component, you can pin it. It turns red. It stays there. So now when you drag something else, it stays there. We also have this description tool. So if you're curious what something you placed is and you don't remember, you can click it. And this also brings up a color menu. So in this way, you can change the color of all the ingredients. The type is important, so all the IgMs will change a color. All the albumins will change a color. You go into the description tool in the lower corner of the screen. It's this little magnifying glass. And then, yeah, and then you click on anything, and it'll allow you to change its color.
Oh my God, this is so cool. This is pretty fun.
So that's that tool. Let's see. We also have a bucket tool. So this is just for like really quick population of ingredients. So you can go open up the palette, click on the bucket, and then you can click all your ingredients that you want to place. So
Dumping it out of the bucket.
yeah, every single thing in the blood plasma you could do, but it won't be at the right concentration.
Oh my God, it looks like Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
Snowflakes and shit.
And we got a guy that kind of pierced the fibrinogen, pierced the membrane. So you can go ahead and try and drag him out. Or her. I don't know the gender of proteins. I won't assume. So yeah, that's that. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, we have erase too. So if you like do something and you don't like it, you can just come here and start erasing. You can even erase chunks of the membrane. There's no undo to this program, so that's kind of a concern. But we do have a save feature. So if you really like what you did, you can just hit save, and it saves as a text file. So it's pretty simple. You can actually edit the text file to load in whatever you want if you're familiar with the format, which it should be pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, well, there's one more thing. We have some graphics options as well up in this upper left-hand gear. So we have a background color. You can do something really crazy.
Wait, question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the little settings?
Yeah, it's the little gear in the upper left.
That is super tiny, by the way. I don't know how big it looks on yours, but on mine it's not that big.
Oh, yeah, because I had you go with the like max graphics settings. It doesn't scale, so that's kind of a problem.
This looks so cool.
So we even have like a vignette setting that's on by default. If you don't like that, you can turn it off. We have bloom, which makes everything kind of glow. You can actually, it's in the glow settings right here. Turn it off.
Yeah, can't even freaking see that.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
We have a depth of field setting that you can turn on and off. Grayscale. Yeah, basically. So you can do some crazy things to it.